Yes, we are here for Love's Open Door. We are opening the door to love today. So we hope you're going to join us in a celebration of love. There's been a lot going on in the world, maybe a little bit more than we can handle emotionally, energetically, but now's the time to make the shift. We cannot feed into the hatred and the anger. There's a Broadway musical, South Pacific, and it talks about how people have to be carefully taught to hate. And there's a lot of energy that's spewing out a lot of hate. And yes, there is a lot of injustice in the world. And, well, there's just a lot of chaos. So each one of you has to separate yourself from this chaos. You need to notice what is being done, but not for you to feed into it, but for you to send it love. And that is an interesting task to accomplish. Because the human reaction, the human condition, is to emotionally respond and be in a reactive mode. Now, that reactive mode is often going to take us down a path that's going to create quite a bit of angst. I want you to look at just the political conversations that have happened over the past 4 years. They've been interesting, to say the least. And people have lost their friendships. Some family dinner tables have never been the same because of conversations and our inability to express our opinion and not agree to disagree, but each respect each other's opinion. But there are some things in this world that we cannot accept. There are some things in this world that are difficult to respect. And that's hatred and hurt and pain upon another human being. Somewhere along the line, we forgot that we are citizens of a planet. Yes, hashtag citizens of the planet. United we stand, and divided we are going to fall. And if you notice, we are being pit against brother, sister against sister, race against race, and religion against religion. And so for those of us who are on our spiritual path, we will be judged too. So you need to know what's in your heart. You need to know who you are. And you need to understand what your beliefs are. Because unless they resonate with you on such a deep level, filled with love, all of this chaos is only going to create great angst and disappointment, trouble, and often disease in the body. So now's the time. We are at a pivotal moment in history that, well, astrologically, times we have not seen. And so we need to make these changes now. We need to make the change that is best for ourselves and for our families. But what we choose to do can cause no harm unto another. Let me say that to you all again. No harm to another. So when you move yourself forward in the direction of your desire, let people be who they are. You do not need to judge them. We do not need to agree with everything that goes on. But there is a great heavenly host that is judging everything that is happening. And there's a lot of individuals who are here on earth who do have our best interest at heart. And then there are many who are on their own personal agendas. Now, who and how can you tell who's who? Not an easy gig. But when you come from your heart and you come from the power of love, love is the power to transform anything, and love will shine a light through the darkness so that you can see where the shadow lies. And there you will see the hidden agendas. This is why it is important that you know who you are and you immerse yourself in love, for love is the greatest power. When did the world get so complicated? And why in a time when the breath of life is threatened, are we in a place where now the actual human being is being threatened by an even greater disease, the disease of hate. This hatred can impact far more than any virus ever can. You see, before this pandemic, we've had a pandemic of hatred. But now that too, interestingly enough, is rising to the surface. And it's giving you pause for concern. We have our rights and our voices to be heard. But what words do you want to speak? Careful what you say. If collectively, consciously, we are speaking the energy of hatred, or saying, I can't breathe, as many are, even though we want to honor the memory, we are actually collectively creating the energy of all of us not being able to breathe. And interestingly enough, please put these pieces together. Didn't the virus, isn't it attacking our breath, our breathing, our lungs? Without air, can you survive? Well, unfortunately, through the death of another, we know you cannot. But hundreds of thousands of people have lost their lives because they weren't able to breathe from a disease. And yet the greatest disease has been a silent killer for centuries. Centuries of hatred building up, rising up. Because why? We cannot see each other as equal. We cannot see each other as other human beings. Must we look at the color of our skin in order to decide if someone belongs in our clan? Won't it be interesting to know when you get back to the heavens, when you report back up for duty with God, to find out that some of the same people you judged because of where they are in their status or the color of their skin or their religion are part of your own soul family? Yeah, God's got a sense of humor. We're forgetting that we're part of this one great light. We're losing sight on the fact that each one of us hurts and we all bleed the same. It doesn't matter if you cut my skin or you cut another's, we're going to bleed. And right now the human race is bleeding. And yes, we want love in our lives. We want romantic love. We want loving families. We want good friends. We want to have magnificence and beauty. And it's actually all still there. But we're being distracted. And I want you to do this. Ask yourself, why the distraction? What is the distraction and what is it taking us away from in the collective conscious energy? And how is this hypnotic programming affecting you and taking you away from love? Do you think that those that carry the light are stronger than that of darkness? Do you believe that we are? We are. But don't you think that the powers of darkness, deception, don't you know that they know that love and light are the strongest ways? So they need to create more angst and disturbances so that we're divided. We step away from love. We can't feel it in our hearts. That we're so riddled with fear to protect our own bodies from a disease. We're so riddled with fear because we don't know where it's safe anymore. We send our children to schools and there's gunshots. There's drive-by shootings. These things don't come from the place of love, and yet they are part of our world. So why is it a world created in love, for love, and fueled by love? Why is it that there's so much pain and despair and hatred and violence? Because somewhere along the way, every individual has a memory of something less than divine and perfect. And that when we see other people in hurt and pain, or they hurt us, it triggers emotions that lie deep within, because we have not spent enough time in the energy of love. Love is the answer. How do you get yourself there? How do you attract that love mate, that partner that you desire, if you're caught up in all of these emotions? You cannot. How can you attract divine love and have the right partner if you yourself is hurt and insecure, disappointed, and holding on to memories that weigh you down? How can you attract that love? You cannot. You will attract aversion that appears in an illusionary way as if it is the perfect relationship, the perfect experience, or the perfect friend, or the perfect lover, and it won't work. You'll soon find yourself caught in the pattern that reminds you how hurt you really are, how broken inside. And since each one of us, every one of us on this planet, has aspects of fragmentation, a break, a disillusionment, a disappointment, a trauma, everything that our eyes are taking in on the television is reminding us of that trauma and bringing it to the surface. Now, for those of you who want to stay rooted in love, in the energy of love, when it comes to the surface, it's a great opportunity to stretch your spiritual wings and truly step into the energy of healing, releasing, embracing a new paradigm. But for those who are not self-aware and truly connected to a divine supreme energy, it sends them spiraling into a mess, unable to pull themselves up. This is what you're seeing. Have we lost complete values of the things that we've accomplished and created in the world? Do we not stop to look at the marvels of how far mankind has come? The technology, the inventions, the beauty, the architecture, the relationships, the cities that we've built, the communities, the social lives that we've been able to create. Do we not value that? Or are we so self-absorbed in what we think we want and what makes us happy that we've taken it for granted? Well, this too, the pandemic reminded us. Can't take for granted going out to dinner or going to a movie. Can't take for granted going to the beach or walking the streets late at night. Did we not value those experiences? Did we not treasure them? Did we not hold them in the beauteous, most gorgeous energy of light and love, in the highest of regards, as a gift from the Creator, to have the ability to create such great experiences, such great environments? Are we all carrying around that one nugget of hurt and pain, and is that canceling out all the beauty that we've experienced? Where's love? And then we look at relationships, individual love relationships. And yet people continue to hang on to a relationship that clearly isn't working, clearly is not a vibrational match, but because of the fear of being alone or unsure as to what the next chapter holds, frozen in fear. And we resign ourselves to stay exactly where we are because we do not believe we're worthy of anything different or better. Does that sound like an idea that was created in the energy of love that was given to you by God? No, it is not. We have been created with the greatest of light. So when my eyes see a group of individuals trying to take a van and flip it over and destroy property, is that in love? Yes, we are all frustrated. We're all frustrated that people have turned on each other, and that there are those that think that they are better than and greater than. But love is greater than them. Not destruction, not despair. And we are in the energy of the heart chakra. We are in the energy of love. And when you speak with love, when you allow love to be your voice, you are heard. Speak your truth. But as you're speaking your truth, hold the vibration of how you would like things to be, how you envision them. We've been here so many times before as a human race. And unfortunately, we will be here again. Until we understand that love is the only force and power. But you see, each one of you watching here today, you have the power to send love and blessings everywhere. And you have your rights to speak your piece, to speak your truth. We still have those. But let it not cause a disturbance or a hurt to another. We don't need any more hurt. We have people in hospitals dying without their family, without their friends, alone and scared. We have individuals who are afraid to go out into the world because of an underlying condition and the fear of their loss of life. But they have no one to help them, so they go anyway. All around us, we're being faced with fear, lack, scarcity, hatred, and pain. Now do you see why today we come to you and say, let's talk about love? And I know someone may be skipping through and say, what's love going to do? When you've got people in power judging others before they have any reason to, and treating others less than, what's love going to do? Well, I can tell you what hatred will do. It will create more events as what we're seeing. I can tell you what fear is going to do. It is going to bring upon you that which you fear the most. I can tell you what lack and scarcity will do. It'll bring to you even more. But love is responsible for everything beautiful that you see in this world. Even when a bird is flying in the sky and maybe has a little tiff with another bird, and you see them kind of do a little bird fight, it's a territorial mark. But it is not with the same emotions and anger that we as humans can eject from us. We just send it out into the world. Choose love. Choose the energy of love today. Everything in the planet is created in love, and the entire universe is fueled by that same force. And the energy of the planets, well, it's a rough one. They're harsh. And it's bringing up everything harsh that has ever been. But out of the chaos will come order. But those of you who want to be in the energy of love, trust that love will fix, fuel all. It's so important. Do you remember the time when you were little and someone picked on you? You know, maybe that class bully, or someone teased you because they didn't like the clothes you wore to school one day, or maybe your pigtails at school. Or maybe you tried out for a team and nobody picked you and you felt less than. Do you remember the taunting and the hatred that children cast upon others? Did you ever wonder how a loving child comes into this world and starts out playing with all the other children when they're 1 and 2 and 3, sometimes 4, and then suddenly they go to school and someone judges another and thinks another is less than? How did a loving child that was brought to this world, how did they move forward and then lose their way? How did they do that? It's a time for all of us to go back to simpler ways and to choose love. A little child does not hold an emotion long enough to let it carry through. It feels an emotion and lets it pass and instantly goes back to love. Do you ever see a dog that maybe their trainer or their master is very rough with them, yet the dog loves them unconditionally? How did we lose that unconditional love? You have the answers inside. Speak your truth, but send the message of love. Let every post that you share be a message of love. Speak your truth, but speak from love. We know not what it's like to be anything but who we are. So the only person we can really govern is ourselves. But if collectively, all of us, starting here, starting now, starting on this day, if all of us could just hold the energy of love, collectively we would all make a difference. And we could shift and open the door to love. And I ask you this question: how much do you love you? How much do you honor who you are? What is your self-talk? How do you interpret your actions? Are you judging yourself? Are you your own worst critic? Start by loving you. Because as you love you, others will love you as well. And you will attract more loving experiences regardless of what's going on in the world. And you will radiate and sustain the most magnificent health ever. Be true to who you are, but follow your energy of love. That's our message for all of you today. In our opening statements, we are going to answer your questions. We're going to talk to you in the feed, and as always on our Sunday Fun Day, we're going to give you a general collective reading, and I have a feeling it's going to be interesting because there's a lot going on in the world. And as these planets are retrograde, Venus, Jupiter, we're noticing these changes. And as they continue to churn up the energy, we have to stay even more rooted in the energy of love and recognize that each person, regardless of skin color, regardless of beliefs, political stance, is a human being. And we need to send love and be love.